We want to have a chat with the Minister of Public Utilities to get a full report as to what happened yesterday and how we can prevent that from happening again in the future, because I don't think that we would want that to happen again. Good morning, Minister Gonzales.
Hi, good morning, Rawkus. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing this morning?
A bit exhausted, but that's part of the job.
It is. So give us a breakdown as to what happened yesterday.
We continue to do the work this morning.
Give me a breakdown as to what happened yesterday and can we get a report on it as yet?
Well, I haven't received a formal report on it as yet. Of course, TNTech is still in the process of compiling a formal report to the Minister of Public Utilities, as well as to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet. And so they are in the process of putting together a preliminary report as they continue to undertake their investigation as to what has transpired yesterday that resulted in that massive blackout in Trinidad for over 10 hours. But the information that I have so far is just indicating that at around 12:50 p.m. yesterday, a fault developed on the TNTech system, causing the two major Gandhi Village, two major power lines, 220 kilovolt line from Gandhi Village to Union Estate to trip. And this resulted in what you call under-frequency scheme operating. And the system went into a very unstable mode, causing all the generating machines at the independent power producers to trip. Right at the time, TGU was producing approximately 550 megawatts of electricity, and the redundancy system that TNTech assumed that it had in place did not came into being, and it resulted in that nationwide power outage yesterday. All right, TNTech was able to isolate the cause of the disruption at Grand Straits at around 1:30 p.m. And after isolating the issue, the other issues coming and emanating from the independent power producers, where all the machines went down. So it was very difficult. They started experiencing difficulty in getting the machines back up. And that is what resulted in the outage in Trinidad yesterday.
All right. Now, Minister, this is the second time that something similar to this is happening since we've decommissioned the power gen turbines. I'm wondering, is there any relation?
No, there's no relation, because what transpired yesterday, TNTech was able to detect the cause of the outage, which, as I've said a short while ago, was as a result of an accident on two of its 220 kilovolt lines from Gandhi Village to Union Estate. All right, which caused an entire trip in the system, causing all the machines that were independent producers to go down. On the last occasion, it was in relation to a gas trip leading to the main TGU plant, because at the time TGU was producing or supplying almost half of the country with electricity. So it was isolated to the TGU plant as a result of some work on a main gas line leading to the TGU plant. So it's completely different what transpired a couple months ago and what transpired yesterday. All right, as I've said, there is redundancy built into the system to prevent what transpired yesterday from happening. But curiously, all the plants and all the machines went down at all the independent power producers, and all of the power producers started experiencing challenges in getting their machines back into operation, which resulted in a delay in the restoration of electricity across the country.
Curious indeed. But I know some customers will be wondering, you said it's more than 10 hours that we were without electricity yesterday. And I know that TNTech usually has a mandate that once you're out of current for more than 9 hours, I believe, there's a rebate to happen.
Oh, I'm not too sure of that policy, but I guess when I get the reports from Mr. Ramsuk and his team this morning, perhaps all of these things will be taken into consideration. Of course, 10 hours without electricity is very inconveniencing, and I also wish to take this opportunity on behalf of TNTech to apologize to all customers and all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who would have experienced great inconvenience as a result of that disruption of electricity yesterday.
All right, Minister,
and whatever TNTech has to do in terms of the law, in terms of its policies, as it relates to its customers, I will ensure that TNTech adheres to the law and to its policies.
All right. Thank you so much, Minister, for joining us this morning and for sharing this information with us. And I want to know as well, are we going to look into the redundancy process as well? Because if you're saying that when this first trip happened, everything that was supposed to be the backup went down too, then we have a series of issues that we need to sort with.
What it did was to expose certain vulnerabilities on the system. It was quite clear. I will not deny that. Talking to Mr. Rawkus yesterday, he told me that this was never anticipated with all the systems that they have in place to prevent, nationwide breakdown and outages. What transpired yesterday was never anticipated. So therefore, TNTech will be conducting its own investigation to see where the shortcomings would have been. And as Minister of Public Utilities, I will be liaising with the Cabinet, with the Prime Minister, to also undertake an independent investigation to give us and to make recommendations to ensure that the redundancy system that we have on our electricity grid will prevent what transpired yesterday from ever happening again.
All right. Well, we look forward to hearing more about that report and the results that come out from it.
Sure.
All right. Sure. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Minister.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
no problem.
it.
Take care. That's Minister Marvin Gonzales, the Minister of Public Utilities, there, joining us to give us a quick update regarding the nationwide power outage. Well, I can't say nationwide, island-wide, because Tobago had current yesterday, from what I understand. So, thank you very much, Minister, for joining us. It's pressure all around. Like, I mean, we saw reports from TNTech yesterday that stated what the challenges were, but it's difficult for a lot of us to just accept it, because just a few months ago, a young lady was representing Trinidad and Tobago on the world stage and said, oh, he doesn't know it's our current and water and thing, and everybody bashy.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, yesterday came to pass.
Exactly. And I think as well, one of the focuses that the Minister mentioned that they definitely do need to look into, and yes, the report has to be done, is this redundancy. I mean, for those who are watching and weren't too sure, I mean, I wasn't sure. I had to double check it to make sure that's your backup system. Yeah?
Yeah.
So
we know we have, like you said, it exposed the vulnerabilities, and hopefully they can take measures to make sure that it does not ever happen again. This is the kind of thing that only should happen once. Yep.